What is up everybody, welcome back to Gamertag VR. My name is GT and today we are doing a review on Arashi Castles of Sin for PlayStation VR. This game was played on PlayStation 5 using the PS Move controllers, and I believe using the Move controllers is the only way you can actually play this game. While doing this review, the day one release patch has already turned up, and with it improvements for AI for the ninjas on patrol, smooth turning and a lot more. So this review has been updated and is based on this latest version. Playing Arashi Castles of Sin for the first time is a mixed bag. It's a mix of good, confusing and poor. But before we get into the details, let's talk about what Arashi actually is. This game is a VR stealth assassin game in which you become Kenshiro, an elite shinobi and the last surviving son of the noble house Arashi. The story sees you making your way through hordes of enemies to eventually get to the boss of each castle, of which there are 6. These 6 are called the Oni of Aiga. Now, lots of us got very excited when we saw the release trailer. This was basically looking like the Tenchu game for VR, and I'm pleased to say in some ways it actually does deliver. When you're hook-shotting up to ledges, leaping from roof to roof, looking for a way to kill your enemy in the most stealthy way possible, this game definitely feels good. You can also hide along grass, which makes you go invisible, which I think is a pretty cool idea. The enemies are a mix of standard ninja, armored ninja, and bowman ninja. Before we go any further as well, I've only played up to Ninja Boss 3. The update corrupted my save, but the trade-off was really worth it because with smooth turning, this game just becomes so much more fluid for me. As you start the game, you are treated to a tutorial with various cutscenes explaining the story, which are very stylish and very cool. I love the idea of moving along with the game and practicing each new instruction as you receive them. Because sometimes in VR games you can be told so many different things in the tutorial to do, but in virtuality it can be quite hard to pull them off, especially when you're dealing with Move controllers, because they have no joysticks, layouts are different from game to game. It was quite welcoming that this game wanted to help you learn the game controls while playing the game. The graphics are nice, but there is no Pro or PS5 enhancements, so don't get excited about that stuff, but I'm not sure if the developers are going to bring this later down the line. Your character has a body in VR, which some don't like, and some games even offer you the choice if you just want arms, or a torso, or a whole body. Personally, I enjoy having a body in VR. Draw distance is impressive, use of colour, and the atmosphere is great. Audio plays a really big part in VR, and this game doesn't fail to impress. It features excellent music, superb vocal talent, atmosphere, and the weapons sound really good. Water looks great, and the weapons are very detailed. Overall, the game is pleasing to the eye and ears on PSVR. You also meet Haru, your large wolf, who will be your companion and your aid in the missions to come. He will attack on command, he will dig up certain spots for gold, he can also act as a distraction for the guards. When you're not in combat, he can be stroked, and you can even play fetch. During the first hour, I felt at odds with the game's controls. The left trigger, for example, is the run button. I don't know why double tapping the left move wouldn't have been a better option here, and then it would free up your hands. And this is on to my next problem. The hands don't move. It reminds me of the guy from Happy Gilmore. If you're not holding anything, it just feels like you've got fake hands hanging where your controllers are. Normally if you pull the triggers in VR games, the hands simulate open and closing, and that's enough to give you a sense of being in VR, but that doesn't happen here. But as I said, if you're using a weapon or an item, you won't really notice this, but it's when your hands are just empty that you're looking at them thinking, these don't feel like mine. Also, when it comes to world interaction, your hands will simply just go through so many different things. There's even like a giant bell in the middle of a level that I thought, oh dude, I can't wait to ring that bell. Nothing really happens, your hands just float through objects, which is a shame. Personally, I like a bit of interaction, being able to pick up items, and just interact with the world in general, you know, to feel part of it. Also, when it comes to your weapons, your katana and samurai sword, which you'll hold most of the game, they simply go through each other. You know, they don't feel like they're physically there. When it comes to using the weapons, you have to cycle through weapons with triangle and circle buttons. But a weapon wheel would have been a fantastic choice here. Simply holding triangle to slow down time and selecting what item you need next. In some ways, this game feels very old, and there is some other choices that I find quite confusing. Your stamina, which regenerates in time, is shown as a green bar. Your health is a red bar, but you need to collect green flasks to fill up your red health bar. It's choices like this that make my brain start questioning stuff. In between rounds, you're welcomed by an inventory room. There is 8 weapons excluding your swords to choose from and 4 slots for your loadout. All items collected stay in your inventory. Touching on to weapons quickly, shurikens, you have your standard samurai and katana, you get bow and arrow, you get poisonous gas capsules, and you've got your hook shot, which isn't a weapon, which would have been nice to use as a weapon, but that is how you traverse around certain levels. You'll see like a highlighted yellow area, which lets you know that you can use your hook shot there. The sword combat is pretty satisfying. It definitely feels better with the day 1 patch. There are other weapons, but as I said, I only got to stage 3, so I didn't get to unlock all of them. And from memory, these are the only ones that I used. But while using these items, I've also noticed the enemies don't react to any noise but me. You can set your dog to attack someone within 6 foot, and they will stay completely unaware anything is going on. Plus, as another poor choice, the dog actually howls when he kills someone. I don't understand why the dog would howl if you're on a stealth mission, and he does it every single time. Also, when you're killing someone, I even practiced this, I could stab someone standing right next to another person. There is no reaction, there's no panic. It literally seems to be line of sight, unless you run. If you run, it alerts them, or if they see you, you're alerted. Crouch button literally is only to crouch behind the environment. Otherwise, it doesn't really make you any quieter. And between running and walking, there's not much speed difference either. Obviously, running is quicker, but it's not massively quicker. Walking is actually a pretty decent speed in this game, which is nice. But it also then makes me think, I don't really need to run around the level anyway. So I'm not crouching very often, and I'm not running very often, which ups my stealth massively. And what you'll end up doing is just dodging line of sight. And that's where the game, for me, becomes a little bit poor. With enemies not detecting you that well, the ability to simply just stay out of line of sight, run your weapon through them, and if you get them from the back, it's a single hit kill. Before the day 1 patch, I played through the game. As I said, I was struggling with certain control methods, and it took me around an hour to do the first mission. When I'd done the day 1 patch and I lost my save, I went back using the smooth turning, and I knew the buttons. It was around 25 minutes to get to the first boss again. And that's what worries me about the game. Once you understand the mechanics of the game and the mechanics of the enemies, you feel like you're cheating your way through the game. Now don't get me wrong, in certain levels they up the enemy count, which makes this a lot more difficult, which is great. The bowmen in particular have a fantastic range of sight. And the game needs that, because if they didn't have that, there are so many opportunities where I would have easily slipped past everybody. I'm not saying the game is very easy, but what I'm saying is once you learn how the game works, you'll feel like you're exploiting something, and the game loses its challenge and therefore becomes quite repetitive. I believe players will be looking between 6 to 8 hours to complete this game based on what I've played already. So on to summarise my time with Arashi Castles of Sin. I have enjoyed the game. I like the production value of the game, but there is some very odd choices and poor detection by the enemies make this game into not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a game about stealth and secrecy and being a ninja, and unfortunately the game doesn't always deliver on that front. Lack of interactivity, lack of weight from certain things, the hands, certain things. Maybe these things can be changed in the future. I'm sure they all can. All games get updated, but this review is based on currently the day 1 patch. I don't want to say I don't recommend this game. I do want people to play it. I think if you're very interested in this type of genre, you're going to get something out of it. But it isn't as amazing as I thought it would be. If I was going to give this game a score, it would be 6 out of 10. And I know some people will think that's incredibly harsh, but it just feels around that level. You know, as I said in the beginning, it's a mixed bag. There's good, bad, and there's confusing. Combine that with the fact that you're rarely detected, or your enemies detect anything else going on around them. The stealth side of the game can feel pretty poor. And I think a 6 out of 10 is where it deserves to be. So if any of you want to see some live gameplay, we are going live with Arashi over on Gamertag VR Live 3 hours after this video has been posted. Link to that live stream is in the description. If this review has helped you in any way, please let me know in the comments. If you do pick up this game, please let me know your thoughts below as well. It's really great for other people to come along to a video and then search out the comments to see whether there's been any updates or whether other people agree with the review. Thank you ever so much for all your support on the channel. Thank you for your likes, thank you for your comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care guys, thank you, bye bye.